All right. Hello, Blockey Sports Network. Ladies and gentlemen at home watching this, we are here for Blockey Hockey Creator League Day 8. We have some interesting games underway here, as we'll take it to our recap of the previous games. These took place on Wednesday. Our first one was the Surge and Popcorn game. The game ended in overtime, 1-0 Surge. Luke, you want to take us through what happened that game?
Yeah, so when you have a team like the Popcorn who struggles offensively, we haven't seen them even get a lot of shots in against most teams, against a team like the Surge who are known to basically be pure defense and have Chokington in net, have Gorius, probably one of the best defensemen of all time, you're going to get an extremely low scoring game. The Surge are a great team when it comes to defense. When it comes to offense, they're lacking just a little bit, especially because Berto XD was out of it at least I know for the opening few minutes of the games, but I think for the entirety of the game he was gone. They ended up playing Winter 16 for a little bit if I'm correct on that. So you basically just had a matchup that it was kind of like when a unstoppable force meets an unmoving object, but there was no unstoppable force and there was no unmoving object. And so we went into overtime. Going into overtime, actually closed it out pretty quickly, surprisingly, with Gorius getting the game-winning goal. And that basically wraps it up for that game.
All right. We will be seeing a rematch of that game tonight, so stay tuned for that. Our next game of the 19th, or the 21st, sorry, was the Blizzard versus the Bagels, and this was a thriller all the way through. Do you want to walk us through what happened in that game, Ghostyferret?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a game that was, for the second game of the night. It was a thriller, like you said. It was a very slow-moving game for the first period. I watched the first period of that game, and I didn't think we were going to see much offense between the two teams. It was very close. We did see some good opportunities. Siffin did step up in a big way, in my opinion. I think it's the best I've ever seen that man play, as he looked really good in the forecheck against Youppi, which is not what I predicted going into the game for sure. But it looked like the Blizzard were kind of coasting to the end. I feel like they got those two goals, took the lead, and I mean, an absolute 28-3 type of choke. Luckily, not on the biggest stage, but when you're up 2-0 with 2.5 minutes left, you have to close out the game. Dropping that lead, losing by 4-2 even.
Yep, I agree. It's really just a devastating loss for the Blizzard, who were kind of on a heater. They went after losing to the Bagels in the first game of the season, they went on a 6-game win streak just to drop that one in the final seconds of the third period. But we'll move on to our final game. This will have the Blizzard rebounding against the Los Angeles Earthquakes. I'm glad I reserved Konechny to explain this one, as he was on the bad end of a terrible loss. Konechny, take it away.
Yeah, so game showed the Blizzard fighting back. Well, I wouldn't say fighting back, but basically just getting their get back win quite hard against the Earthquakes. Earthquakes made a big trade prior, I'd say a week ago, and this was the first time they were playing with their new team. The game did not see much offense from the Earthquakes. I believe the shots at the end were like 34.
Yeah, 34-6.
Yeah, 34-6 in favor of the Blizzard. It wasn't very close. The Earthquakes just Dripsky scoring 3 goals on the night. I'm pretty sure like EXO got one and Camper got one as well. It was just complete domination from them the entire time. Really shows how good their offense can be from each game, and it just shows how the Earthquakes kind of were just not ready to face them after basically swapping up their second line, swapping up their entire team, and just shows how strong the Blizzard really are.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it just kind of showed how, you're on the team now. You joined the club of how we just kind of underperform on the biggest stage, unfortunately. It's been rough. I really don't want to talk about the game, I think that's understandable. But yeah, I just feel like it kind of goes off the narrative that like we underperform, which is unfortunate. I hate to say it. I love my team, but that's what I have to say about that.
All right. We will take it to tonight's matchups. which we will start with the rematch of the Popcorn versus Surge that commences in 20 minutes. Thoughts on how that's going to go? Connect me. We'll go to a different one to explain it, since Luke already explained the last Popcorn versus Surge game.
It appears that Birdo is online for this game, so I feel like this is definitely going to be more of a Surge. I wouldn't say domination, but I feel like they're going to play a lot better than they did the last time. I feel like the Surge are, they're going to, they'll score a lot more goals than they did last time. They won't have to rely on Gorius and Arden B for their offense. I feel like the Popcorn, I feel like they might play better as well. Jaden and Farabee are going to have their chemistry together on the line, and I honestly don't know who the second line is going to be. I think it's basically going to be like Brandon and Lubili maybe, but I feel like that's just going to play the same way they've been playing all season. I can definitely just see the Surge winning, and I feel like they're definitely a little, I wouldn't say mad, but I feel like they're a little demoralized after going to overtime against the consensus worst team in the league, and I'm sure they're going to want to get a good get back here, especially with Berto back in the lineup.
I mean, respectively, I have to disagree. I mean, I'm Popcorn all the way, baby. I mean, I ride or die. I think Spooky Mouth's gonna have the game of his life. Okay, people, when I'm telling you that the cheating accusations were here before, it's gonna get real after tonight. I mean, Farabee, give me 3 goals on the night, as I believe the key player. He is the key player to watch in this game, as we saw a 1-0, obviously, overtime game. He has to score for this team, and I think tonight he's going to come out and he's going to be the goal scorer that we expected him to be from the start of the season. And him playing with Jaden, they've been getting a lot of good reps together. I really do believe this first line can go and diff that Surge first line, especially if they play the same way they did, frankly, on Wednesday night.
I actually agree with Ferret, but for a completely different reason. I think the Popcorn are going to take this. My player of the game to watch is not Farabee. It's actually going to be Jaden. Jaden, apparently, rumors of him circulating, getting benched, him coming out of the woodworks tonight to defend himself, saying that that's not the case. I think Jaden's going to be upset with those accusations. He's going to feel like he has something to prove. He's going to get 2 goals and an assist tonight for a 3-0 win over the Sacramento Surge.
My God, that is bold.
It is absolutely bold.
Well, I do believe that the Popcorn are definitely going to have some fire in their hearts tonight, but I don't know if it will be enough to get past Vasilevsky, because even if Spooky Mount toggles on, if he's like the most blatant cheater we've ever seen, the Surge still have Vasilevsky backing them up. He is the consensus, best goalie of all time. If he plays like how he's been playing the past few games, I think the Surge should have an easy win here. But moving on, well, should we do predictions?
I think
we already gave it.
Hey, we kind of gave the predictions,
one.
man.
All right. Well, moving on to our next game, the Popcorn will have a back-to-back. They will be playing the Malibu Marshmallows. I'll start with Luke this time. How do you think your marshmallows are going to match up? How do you think your marshmallows are going to match up against the Popcorn?
Okay. So, I am terrified to say anything that might be used for content later. I think that we are going to play a really good game of hockey. I think that the Popcorn are a respectable bunch of lads that will also play to the best of their ability. And then we will see how things go from there.
Definitely dialing it back from his last analysis. We'll head over to Ghostyferret, see what he thinks.
Yeah, so basically everything I just said about the Popcorn, Spooky Mount having the game of his life, Farabee scoring 3 goals. I'm just going to take that all back for this game. I really don't see the Popcorn having a chance, at all, to be honest. I think Mount's going to play good, but for me, this comes down to Z versus Brandon on that second line, and whoever Brandon decides to play with. I mean, we've been questioning his management decisions all season. He's giving good reason why. He's picking Boobly Bridge in the 4th round, not playing him. So we'll see who he's playing with tonight. But I just see Z going, he's just going to go crazy tonight. That second line is too weak to contain him, in my opinion. So I expect a pretty big win for the Marshmallows. Konechny, what do you think?
I can basically backpack of what you said. I think Z is just going to dominate that second line. He should, at least. Should definitely be able to score a lot on Brandon and again, New Billy, I think it is. I think it's going to be one of those games where Mount's going to have 20, 25 saves. I don't know. I think the popcorn will probably be able to get one at least in. I think it's just usually, how Farabee goes and Jaden, they can probably at least pot one in. I just think the marshmallows are definitely just gonna. I want to say steamroll over them, but honestly, we'll go both. I think they'll just steamroll over them. I don't think it'll be very close, and the marshmallows should just be able to pull out a win quite easily.
I like I said, I really think that when it comes down to the end of the day, the popcorn are a respectable group of people, and they're going to do the best they can. Oh, I'll be right.
Well, clearly by the sign that's behind your head,
I what sign?
Brew.
I don't see it.
There, I don't see a sign either. When,
Yeah,
I
sorry
wonder where
about
that
that.
came from.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
well-
a great group of guys, and I think it's going to be a really great game. So, go popcorn.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
Yep. Go
Yeah.
popcorn.
Respectable guys over there.
Well, I'm sure Luke is going to be happy about this. We're finally moving on from talking about the Nebraska popcorn. Our final game of the night will be the Blue Ridge Blizzard versus the Sacramento Surge. Ghostyferret, walk us through how that's going to go.
So, for my insider sources, apparently there's a good chance that the Surge are going to have not their full roster for tonight. I've also heard on the other side that Akuzo will be missing tonight, so that is very interesting, as he has been the best player obviously on this team, as he looks amazing this season. I just with so many players missing on this Surge team, it's going to be an interesting dynamic of the lines, because we've seen them switch up their lines a bunch this season and nothing really working. So I really do wonder what they're gonna do. For the Blizzard side, I feel like it's more one dimensional on who they sub in, because they have players who are more set on positions, who I guess kind of have play styles fit for certain people. Like you can switch out Camper, Alex, and R per se, and not stack that second line like they've been doing all season, and I think it would still work relatively similar. But for me, this game just comes down to can Dripsky carry the Blizzard in this win, because he hasn't shown an ability to carry a team in his career, as he is a very young player. He hasn't had that opportunity, but tonight's a big night for him to step up and show that he is really the guy and that he's not a second line merch. Nick, what do you have to say on this game tonight?
I mean, again, I can agree with you. I don't know exactly off the top of my head who's missing, but if both teams are missing, big pieces. I know EXO is obviously a very big piece for Blizzard. Definitely be a very, very big test for Dripsky to see if he can actually just carry the team. Honestly, I believe in him. I think he can just carry the team through tonight. I feel like the Blizzard have a good amount of depth that, will be able to just help him carry. And I honestly think the Blizzard will still be able to pull out and, win against the Surge. That being said, Surge are definitely, going to still put up a fight. But again, I don't know off the top of my head who is missing for that team. But honestly, I'm going to go bold and say, I don't think it would really matter. I just think Dripsky will be able just to power through. So I think the Blizzard is going to win tonight. I think it'll be a close game still. But I think it'll be like something like, we'll go with 3-2 Blizzard.
That is very close. Wow.
That is a close game, considering both teams are missing key pieces. I'm interested to see what Luke thinks, how these injuries will impact the teams.
Yeah, I think out of every game tonight, this is probably one of the ones that is like the most, oh, this is probably exactly what's going to happen. We can look into advance and tell what the outcome's going to be. I don't think the injuries are going to matter too much when it comes to the final score of the game. I just think that the Blizzard are that team besides the Bagels at the moment, and even if they're out one or two players, they have just such a good roster that they can keep up with it. I think that it's probably going to be fairly low scoring. It's going to look like it's a close game, but it's going to kind of be like an Earthquakes game where the shots will not line up with the score. And I'm going to say a 3-1 win for the Blizzard. They're, like I said, they've just got so much firepower. At the end of the day, Chokington, he's a great goalie. Something's going to get through him. I actually have this really weird feeling tonight that Choke might actually, I think the Surge are going to play the best game they've played in a while. And Choke's actually going to have one of the worst games he's played in a while. And it's just going to be one of those ironic, like, they should have won, bottom. It's the curse of the bottom tier teams. Nothing can go right? Like, one thing has to go wrong. And tonight, I think Choke's going to be the thing that goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That is an interesting take.
Very interesting take. We'll conclude this segment to head over to the standings. take a look. Ghostyferret will analyze those.
Give me a minute, Chad. It takes me a
Oh,
minute to get
yeah.
over here. All right, everybody. So here at the standings, we see the unfortunately, as much as I've been hyping him up tonight, the Nebraska Popcorn sitting here at 0-5-1. It's been rough. Nothing has gone right for them. Brandon has been a very interesting general manager for this team. But right above them, the 1-3-1 Malibu Marshmallows, who just when you look at them compared to the unfortunately the LA Earthquakes, I feel like you just feel like they shouldn't be here. If they've played teams like the Paris Pigeons close. They've almost beat them. I mean, they beat them in overtime, and they lost by 1 goal in a 1-0 game. They've been playing really good teams close. It just feels like they shouldn't be down here, honestly. Obviously 6 just in the last playoff spot, with the worst goal differential, unfortunately, in the league. We're just gonna skip over that and go to number 5 with the Sacramento Surge. 2 and 3. They haven't had any offense really at all this season. They're 2 wins. One of them being against the Nebraska Popcorn. A very impressive upset against the 7-1-0 Ohio Otters, who have looked phenomenal this season. Obviously, Bagel Glaze is having the season of his life. Robe has been Robe. Sammy the Whale has somehow been good for this team. As we move into what we expect to come into the season, the Blizzard, Bagels up top of the standings, Pigeons also up there. Bagels and Pigeons not having a regulation loss yet. Sorry for my words. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can carry that momentum and win the Presidents. Obviously, those matchups between the Bagels and the Pigeons will be very important for deciding the Presidents. Well, one of them has to lose. So that is all we have for the standings tonight, though.
Thank you for talking about how the Marshmallows shouldn't be where they are in the standings. I really appreciate that, Jester.
I am terrified. Let me just go sit down and then.
Ooh, I don't know about that. And thank you for skipping over the Earthquakes as well. Glad we, both don't want to talk about it.
I think that no matter what happens tonight, you have three of the teams, three of the teams at the bottom of half of the rankings playing tonight. I think that the outcome of tonight's games are going to determine some pretty major moves. I can see if the Popcorn lose 2 more games in a row, they're going to look to make even more moves. If the Surge are still struggling to score, they're going to make moves. If the if something happens to the Marshmallows, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think that tonight's matchups are going to basically determine the future of this league for these bottom teams.
Yeah, I fear a disaster draft is impending if the Marshmallows lose tonight. Well,
wow,
that'll be it. I feel the broadcast has done enough, and I think that we will head over to the games. The Popcorn versus Surge commencing in a short 7 minutes. We'll see you guys there. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. Joined on Blockey Sports Network. I'm Demoni. I'm joined by Youppi.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody.
This is our first game of the night. The Sacramento Surge will be taking on the Popcorn. It's a rematch from Wednesday. Walk us through how that went, Youppi.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really here for it, but I did catch some of the highlights afterwards. It was a very low-scoring game. These two teams, you know, they're both well known for having great goaltenders, so that's gonna be something to watch for, obviously. But the Surge were without BHCL, who in one of their biggest wins of the season, where they prevailed over the Otters, I believe. It was
No, they didn't.
Oh, wasn't the wait? Which team was it that they beat?
No, it was the Otters.
Oh, okay. Well, you're messing me up, man. In a big win over the Otters, BHCL had a hat trick to lead them to that win. So having him back is going to be huge in the offense department for this team. But we're going to get underway here. We have I'll be doing the color commentary, and Demoni will be covering the play-by-play for tonight's action.
Yes, sir. 10 seconds of the face-off. This will be an interesting rematch. Popcorn still winless on the season, but they'll be playing with some fire. Gorius playing forward. He's usually a defenseman as Farabee wins the draw. Farabee easily getting around Gorius, but Mike's 2x holds him at the line. Jaden will now pick his pocket and take it up. Sent up for Gorius. He'll play it safe in the neutral zone. Pulling it back, looking for the pass, but it's not there. Farabee's pressure. Unsuccessful as Ghostyferret forces it into the Popcorn zone. Jaden. Or Gorius. Yeah, my bad. Farabee behind the net. Pressured by Mike's. Mike's keeping it in, getting a shot off, and Spooky Mount will glove it. He'll play it towards the corner. Farabee and Mike's wrestling for it. Farabee gets it free, but Gorius sends one in. Mike's unable to pressure, and the Surge are offside. So that puck's out to neutral ice. Gorius' pass, bit of a miscomm there as Mike's was unable to read the one-timer. Farabee behind his net. Good forecheck from Mike's. Gets it free, trying to get it up for Gorius. He will, but the one-timer is not successful. Jaden taking it to the middle. Gorius is there to stop the cut. Farabee has time. Pulls it back, goes to the near boards, kind of whiffing on it, as Gorius will catch him sleeping. Surge will get a line change after Gorius is able to dump it into the Popcorn corner. And here's BHCL. Almost gets a shot off, but Jaden, a.k.a. Lil Ghostyferret, getting the block off there. Here's Moya to the middle for BHCL. That shot is blocked down by Farabee. Rebound out to Moya. It's sent back into the Surge zone. Willingly, as BHCL looping around. Looking to get through Grimace 245. Unable to. Sent back for Moya. Moya's pass onto the stick of Brandon. He'll get a P3 off. That's saved by Vasilevsky. Coming up to challenge, and Vasilevsky drops it for an own goal. Brandon, easy tap in for him.
That was an unbelievable misplay from Vasilevsky. You hate to see it from somebody this good. You expect Vasilevsky to make the right decision. He's a veteran of this league. I guess he just didn't see Brandon coming, and he took advantage of the lack of awareness from Vasilevsky.
Wow. An incredibly unfortunate turn of events for the Surge here, as they would have been very dominant so far. I'm pretty sure all of the possession time has been in their favor in the Popcorn zone. The Popcorn really have not had the puck.
No,
aside from that one tap in by Brandon, I think that's their only touch in the Surge zone. Here's this face-off. Brandon clamped up by BHCL in neutral ice as the Surge looks to regain momentum. Here's Moya sending it up for BHCL. Here's Grimace now, able to clamp him up. Grimace met at the blue line by BHCL. He's up with it now, has to get past Moya, but he can't. Moya up for BHCL.
I believe BHCL is shift glitched.
He is.
I'm not sure.
He is crouch glitched. He does get a shot off, and Spooky Mount will glove. Plays it back for Brandon. Youppi, what have you seen from? What have you seen from Spooky Mount so far in this season?
I mean, he's had his ups and downs. Getting picked second overall, you definitely wanted to see better from him as a whole. But, he's had his moments where he makes the game winnable for his team. But early in the season, he did kind of let his team down when they were putting goals on the board. He couldn't make the stops for them. But, as of late, I don't want to diss him too hard. He has been great.
I agree. I believe he's his first 2 games are really dragging down his stats, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, as they should, though. He did not play well. He felt
Oh, here's
pressure.
Jaden getting a shot off. Sorry, I'll let you continue.
Oh, no worries. It seemed like the pressure was just kind of getting to him of, having more fans at the games than usual. But as he's adjusted to it, he's starting to get back into his normal form.
Here's Jaden in the popcorn corner. Great analysis there, by the way.
Thank you.
Farabee up for Jaden. Has room, but misuses it as Gorius is able to force him back into his own zone. Puck is loose for Mikes. He gets a long shot off. That's easily gobbled up by Spooky Mount.
Yeah, and I mean, those are the saves that you need to make as a goaltender. There's not really much to talk about there. That's just, you expect every goalie at this level to be able to make those easy stops. It's kind of a gimme. But it is interesting that he held on to that, as it's going to give the Surge an offensive zone faceoff where these are very dangerous.
Offensive zone faceoffs, a bit taboo in today's Blockey Hockey League, as Arden B winning it back, but he's unable to hold it as it's sent back to the neutral zone for Berto XD. He gets around Brandon, gets around Grimace. That's gloved down by Spooky Mount. That was headed wide, I believe, but
yeah, he didn't want to take any chances on that, though.
Still, great glove there. Arden B getting it past Brandon through Grimace, and Spooky Mount will knock that one out of his crease. Here's Arden again. He shoots and scores. The Surge find the back of the net with 41 seconds to go in the first period, and it's a tie game.
Yeah, Arden B had a couple really good chances before he was able to pot that one. It took one good shot on Spooky Mount. He made the save, but a bit of a defensive misplay from Grimace as he kind of just let Arden B walk around into the middle with the puck. And you cannot blame Spooky Mount for letting that in. Those types of shots are really hard to handle. You don't know if he's going to go in on the inside post. You don't know if he's going to go far side. You don't know if he's going to drive the net. Spooky Mount's gotten his flack this season, but you can't really get mad at him for that. That's just, you kind of expect that with how weak this popcorn second line has looked so far this season.
I agree. Questionable decision by Brandon to play Grimace 245, the undrafted, normally plays forward, over Newbly Bridge, their 3rd round pick.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's Gorius almost own goaling, but Vasilevsky luckily able to use his pinging abilities to knock that one out of the crease. Here's Brandon driving the middle, knocked away by Arden B. Gorius defending him. That's back for Grimace. A strange turn of tennis in the neutral zone as Arden B gets it out of his own zone. Jaden holding him at the line, and that's sent out a play. 3 seconds left. Face off outside of the zone. The Surge could score here.
Yeah, there's definitely potential for them to drop a play here, but the Popcorn are also well aware of that. So I can't imagine that they're going to go down and kind of take this face off lightly. They see Mike's punching around, calling up a play, so they're not sure what's coming, though. But
Here's Farabee winning it back. Yeah, that should ice the period. 1-1 as we take this between the benches. Ghostyferret and Konechny giving our analysis on this period.
Thank you to Money. I am very not surprised, I should say, with how I've seen this period go out. As this has been a very close game. But compared to what we saw on Wednesday night, a lot more offense I feel like we're seeing out of these teams. Berto being back in the lineup, yes, does help for the Surge, but I mean, on the Popcorn side, I think, as a team together, they looked a lot better. Having 4 shots is not bad for a team like this that is very heavy on the defensive side. When you have a line like Gorius and Mike's, they're going to be obviously heavy on the defense. But we've seen a pretty close game so far. What do you think, Nick?
I'd say, yeah, pretty close game so far, too. Arden B, good shot, scoring, seems very even, shots very even. Goldie's very even, in my opinion, just skill level in general. I honestly don't know who's going to win this game still. Still think, still pulling for the Surge here, but,
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
close game so far.
we talk about how close this game is, but I mean, when you look at the Sacramento Surge side, it should be 1-0, Surge winning. That I don't know what was going through Vasil, as he said, that is not a play that we normally don't see him make. Yes, he does own goal here once in a while. We can't expect that, but that is not a usual Vasilevsky own goal. I feel like he just completely blundered and dropped the puck in front of his net. I am assuming it was an accidental, misclick from him. He was just kind of spamming and accidentally hit his button, but it accidents do happen, but this game realistically should be 1-0 Surge.
Definitely do agree with that. Was not here obviously, but sure. Something happened.
I mean, if anybody in the booth has some words they want to add on to what I've said, feel free to speak your mind a little bit.
This game has been mostly what I've expected, other than the popcorn goal. But the popcorn scoring, you don't expect it to come from somebody like Brandon. I talked to him in the pregame, and he seemed very confident in his own abilities. He was talking about how he's gonna come out here and he's gonna try to play like his old self, which was an elite level goal scorer. But that's not that type of goal we're used to seeing him score regardless. But I feel like Farabee and Jaden have still been very, very quiet for this popcorn team since the deal. Which, definitely you expect them to be the ones putting goals up on the board, but they've been getting shut down pretty hard by the Surge's first line.
Yeah, I agree, especially after, we saw that first game against the Otters, and they played an amazing game, the best game they've played all season, losing 3-2, and that line putting up 2 goals. We just haven't seen anything since.
Yeah, for sure.
All
We're
right.
going to get back underway now.
Back up to the booth we go. Second period underway. Puck is dropped. Gorius wins it forward with ease. Here's Mike's holding the red line. Farabee gets past Gorius, but Mike's able to rotate and make the poke check. Farabee forcing it through anyway. Trying to get around Gorius, but he finds the puck and turns it aside into the corner. Here's Farabee cutting out of the corner. Bad defense by Mike's, but Farabee was unable to get the shot off, and Mike's will clear the puck. Jaden's pass unsuccessful as it ends up on a Sacramento Surge stick. Gorius now working it deep into the popcorn zone, defending against Jaden. He gets the pass off to Farabee. Farabee still looking for a shot, but Mike's not going to give it to him. Farabee now can't keep it from being cleared. Here's Mike's breaking into the popcorn zone. He might have been trying the short side there. I'm not sure. 2-on-1 developing for the popcorn. Jaden unable to get it to Farabee as Gorius smartly playing the man there. Here's Gorius getting past Jaden, getting around, but it's paying out by Spooky Mount.
Former teammates dueling it out there on the breakaway. Gorius and Mount have played, I think, every season of Mount's career. He's been playing with Gorius. And a great save there by Vasilevsky on the other end.
Excellent save. Gorius and Mount, teammates on the championship-winning Philadelphia Freedom in S20.
Along with the Blues for basically all of Mount's career. Spent half a season apart, but nothing crazy.
No friendships on the ice, as they'll both be fighting for this win. Here's Brundlin.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Both of these teams are fighting for a playoff spot right now. Despite the Surge being, I believe, in 5th or 6th place, putting them not comfortable, but, they're in a playoff spot. They have 2 wins on the season. Still, these wins over the popcorn mean a lot because this is a team that you're competing with for that 6th slot to make sure you get in the playoffs.
I agree. Here's Berto walking the line. Gets past Brandon. Looking for the pass. He won't get it. Here, that Grimace crouches in front of that one. He'll take it up for the popcorn. Getting around Arden. Cutting to the middle is Grimace, but he's unable to get a shot off as I believe Berto caught up to that. Here's a Berto XD. Getting it up the ice, but whiffing on it as he almost had Grimace beat for a breakaway. Berto stretch pass for Arden B. Lands in the hands of Brandon, who hits the post with the shot. It's turned to the side into the corner by Vasilevsky. Mike's will retrieve that puck from Berto XD as the Surge will get a change. Mike's up for Gorius. Farabee on the ice now for Grimace, and Brandon will change. Both first lines on now. Farabee can't re-enter the zone as he tried to regroup, but Mike's denied him at the blue line. What do you think about the Surge's choices of lines so far with playing two very defensive players on the top line?
I mean, it's been working out for them, and it's been what's gotten them wins. The second line for the Surge being very offensive heavy, trying to take advantage of other teams whose second line might be a little bit weaker, which the Popcorn are one of those teams where you look at their first and second line, their two superstars are clearly stacked together on the first line, and Brunlin and Grimace, despite, going into this game, you would have thought they would be a much weaker line than the Surges, but they've actually been holding their own for the most part. It's been very impressive. Grimace has had a great game so far.
I agree. You do tend to see less defensive instinct on second lines, but so far the Popcorn second line have not. There's no complaints from me. They've looked fairly good in the defensive. Sorry, the defensive zone.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience as a player, second lines just tend to be a lot less tactical. It feels more like a scrimmage on the ice when you're playing second line. You're just kind of running around. Like there's not, like I said, there's not as many tactics. Maybe some lines play a bit more defensive heavy, but it's not like they have a ton of systems in place. It's more just like, hey, let's just make an extra focus, keep the puck out of our net. So it makes sense to attack your offense against the second line if you're confident in their abilities to outplay the Popcorn.
That is true. Here's Brunlin looking for the shot. He hits the post again.
It's the second time. Vintage Brunlin is not missing these.
Brunlin is just shooting from outside of the zone, and it's gotten lukewarm success as he's been able to find the post, but not necessarily the net.
I mean, I guess he got his
He is
goal
getting
off
those
a
shots off,
rebound
though.
from Vasilevsky, kind of just trolling, but
That is true. Not sure what that shot was, as it ends up on the stick of Birdo XD. Here's Grimace, working it to the corner, pulling it back. Pass back out for Brandon. He'll look to P3 it again. That almost gets through, but Vasilevsky reaching back with the stick to ping it out of the crease. Great save there.
I mean, they're gonna start falling soon. If you keep letting Brunlin shoot from where he wants to shoot from, you have to expect him to eventually score, and he's gonna get another one. And this Surge second line, the offense is clearly there, but the defense is not.
Yeah, Brundlin almost breaking it again as Vasilevsky had to come out and play that one himself. Here's Birdo XD in the corner, getting a big hit off on Brandon, but that will be on the puck.
It's garbage time. He's just gonna try to kill time. Brandon with a good chance. But that'll do it. That was a much better period for the Popcorn. They are more than double the shots. 2.5
shots were
times the
6-0 in that period.
That's crazy. You don't expect the Popcorn to put up a performance like that, but we're going to head between the benches with Ghostyferret and Konechny, and we're going to get their analysis on that period.
Yeah, a very good period for the Popcorn. That was the best period I think they've played all season. For me, though, Brandon, he's gonna start hitting these shots, in my opinion, because that is his spot. He built his career off of that spot, especially in the later part of his career. I do think the Popcorn, it's looking like they're gonna break through soon. But a very good period from the Popcorn all around. 6-0, in the shot category, that period for the Popcorn, that is the best I think I've seen them play all season.
I absolutely agree with that. I have not seen them play like this all season at all. I was on their team too. I didn't see this out of the second line. No diss. But honestly, I honestly think one gets through Vasilevsky at this point. Brandon has just been peppering shots on net. I think one of them will get through. And I honestly think maybe Grimace will pick up a nice greasy rebound goal. I could see that definitely happening because it seems like that's what they're trying to allure to. Trying to see if they can Brandon shoot outside the zone, have Grimace come in. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the Surge will come in and get a lucky random one-shot and one-shot goal. Something like that. But very good game so far.
Yeah, this has been a very good back-and-forth game. I mean, that period was pretty one-sided. A little bit of my personal analysis as a player and I guess a coach of a team. I mean, I do run the Bagels. If I'm looking at the Popcorn, their second line has been playing so much better. I mean, their second line's been playing so much better than their first line. And I think a lot of that has to do with the simplicity that their second line is playing with. The Surge are a very defensive team, and they're playing very safe. And I feel like Farabee is kind of dangling himself into corners. When you watch him play, he's cutting across at the blue line, gets a little bit of space, and then he's trying to cut back another time. And Gorius and Mikes are just sitting back, waiting for him to do that. It's like they know what he's going to do. And I think that, as a whole, the second line for the Popcorn have been so successful because Brandon gets into middle of the neutral zone on their end of the ice. It just fires it at the net, and he's putting so much pressure on the Surge to have to kind of push up that if they do want to push into the zone and get a better opportunity, they can because they're getting pinched on so early. But we're 10
There's a
seconds
rumor
out.
going around that Brandon was offered $1,000 if he scored 7 goals tonight.
I mean, he's playing like it. I'm not gonna lie. He needs the bag, I guess.
He wants that bag.
Chaser. But we're gonna get back underway here. We're about 20 seconds out. I'm gonna hand it back to Demoni. Thank you, Ghostyferret and Connect Me. I hope we see you later. This game might even go to overtime, so we might see you sooner than later. But yeah, 5 seconds out.
Face off underway. Thank you, Youppi, for that analysis, and thank you, Ghostyferret and Connect Me.
No problem. Always
Here
happy
is
to be
Farabee
here.
winning it back. Almost a mistake as Arden B whiffs on that puck.
He had a line change. Arden B is currently playing first line for the Surge.
The Surge do need offense on that first line. They might get it, but it's a good back check by Jaden, of all people, who has not been noted for his defensive prowess, as Gorius gets a sneaky shot off. That's gloved down by Spooky Mount.
And
Here's
already
Farabee.
The tempo change between the first and second line for the Popcorn is just that the ice has been flipped. And the Surge are now back in control of the game. And this momentum could be huge heading into the latter half of this period.
Here's Jaden. Crossing up Arden B. Trying to get it out of the zone, but he can't. He ends up succeeding. Pass over for Arden B by Gorius. What a swap by Farabee. Farabee killing it in the corner. Trying to get it out for Jaden. He will cross it in his own zone. Jaden whiffing on it. Arden B still with it. Cuts to the middle. Arden B's shot dies down on the stick of Lil Ghostyferret. What a ping there. Here's Gorius. Stretching one up for Arden B. Jaden can't find it. He eventually is able to, as he will force it out of the zone. The Surge look much reinvigorated to start this third period.
He's scared to drop those now. I mean, I feel like you have to still make the right play there. You know, he might be in his own head when it comes to the dropping the puck, because it was kind of just on him, that first goal against. But the right play there is to go behind your net and play that puck and hope your defense can clear it out, and rather than taking these very risky in-zone faceoffs.
This is true.
I mean, I don't think Brandon knows how to 5-hole, so it doesn't really matter.
If you don't mind me hopping in here, I spoke with Vasilevsky in the intermissions. He will not be dropping the puck for the rest of the game, or at least that's what he told me, when Brandon is on the ice.
You know, fair. Okay, that's very fair. I don't think Brandon's capable of doing the face-off goal, so I wouldn't be too worried if I was him as well. Let's hope he doesn't make that mistake when Jaden LC's onto the ice, though, or Farabee.
Brandon is a goal scorer, but
it would be very funny.
Definitely not that much of a goal scorer.
Oh yeah, no, he has his bag and everybody knows it, but it still sometimes works.
Here's Birdo XD almost breaking in, but Grimace, good defensive play to deny that shot. Birdo, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this third period. We're still tied. Brundlin sends one into the corner as Birdo XD tried to cut to the middle. He'll try again. Brandon with the defensive play again. Analytical darling for from Alice Fresco's Advanced Analytics.
Yeah, shout out Alfresco.
Shout out Alfresco. He works hard.
He's not here today, sadly. Oh,
here's Birdo XD getting around both Popcorn and Spooky Mount. Will have to deny that one with the paddle. Brandon trying to cut through neutral ice. Goriest on the second line. Interesting choice as Brandon gets past him, but Goriest, good ping into the corner. Farabee getting a P3 off. Misplay by Goriest there, but it's read easily by Chokington. Farabee trying to get a pass out, but Arden B is there in the corner. It's out for Goriest. Goriest playing it deep. Little Ghostyferret gets it out.
That was risky.
He is able to clear. It is. The middle of the ice is definitely not somewhere you want to put the puck if you are defending.
My BHL instincts kind of kicked in there when I saw him do that. I got scared as if I was on the team. I was like, oh, what's he doing?
I'd feel bad for you if you were on the Popcorn.
Yeah,
so.
I would too.
Here's Goriest behind his own net. Goriest surveying his options. Elects to cross it for Arden B. A little behind him, but Arden gets to it. Farabee picks his pocket. His P3 gloved down by Chokington.
And he's gonna play it. He's staying true to his word. As long as Brandon's it's only when Brandon's on the ice he's gonna keep it in his glove.
Yeah, Farabee and Jaden. Not the most dangerous first line, but I'm sure they know how to score an offensive zone face-off goal.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's Mike's.
you don't want to overlook them as a threat for sure. They can strike at any moment if you let your guard up. So
That
or
is
guard
true.
down rather. My apologies.
You're good.
Farabee's kind of cooking.
Here's Brundlin taking the handoff, hitting the post. You were saying?
Oh, and I was finishing up. I mean, I guess I do want to say Brandon's been on fire this game, but at least in the offensive half of the game. But
Yeah,
you gotta
Brandon
play
is having
offense and defense.
Honestly, the defense has been there from Brandon as he lets a P3 fly just wide.
Let me build
Brandon
narratives.
clamping up Berto XD.
Let me build narratives that this guy can only play offense. Come on. Let me have fun.
True. Brandon getting one over for Grimace. That was a narrow miss. As it's sent back to Mike's in neutral ice. Dangerous positioning there, but Mike's misplays it. 4 seconds left. We will go to overtime unless Berto XD sends one off the outside of the post to end the period. Wow.
What a finish. I mean,
That was almost a caster's curse.
That felt more like the first period than the second period. The Popcorn definitely took a step back in terms of their offensive production. I mean, obviously they didn't score in the second period, but they got really damn close. And I believe that the shots were dead even that period, 3-3. So definitely a better period. Clearly the line changes for the Surge have worked out. At least if you're only looking at the results of that period. I do believe they will keep it the same. Just if I had to guess, it looks like they will based on who's on the ice right now. But enough yapping from me. We're going to hand it to Ghostyferret and Konechny in between the benches.
Thank you. Now, I do like that they switched up the lines because, you know, from my perspective, that second period, it looked like that second line just, for the Surge, I mean, just the defense wasn't there at all. I mean, they were letting Brandon shoot at will, which you really don't see anymore. But he was shooting at will. But they, they switched. They put Mike's on the second line, give Berto some more defensive support, and it worked a lot better, I think, for the Surge. As Brandon could get some offense, but not nearly as much as he was able to get last period. And on the other side, Berto still was able to generate some offense without Arden B. Because Mike obviously isn't as big as a threat as Arden B on the ice. But for me, a much better period from the Surge and a much worse period from the Popcorn. Nick, what do you think?
I definitely agree. The Surge going for a more, I say, balanced line approach, putting, Arden B, Glorious in the same line. Very offensive player, very defensive player. Obviously the second line, same thing. I think that definitely helped their play. I will say, though, Brandon is still kind of just doing his thing. He's just kind of running around, throwing rocks at the net. Kind of, honestly, good for him. He's kind of having a bit of a legacy game here. I mean, if he had more goals, it'd probably be a true legacy game. But he's looked very, very good. Maybe needs to, get the puck on the net. But, you start somewhere by throwing pucks on the net. I'm not a very,
No.
Yeah.
not judgmental.
We all start somewhere.
We
We
all
haven't
start
really seen him throw
somewhere.
pucks on the net
He's
before.
I know
so-
his
me and
Alfresco
Ghostyferret aren't
expected
used to
goals
seeing that.
He's trying to get his Alfresco advanced analytics up a little bit. But
Yeah, he really does
He's
want to
getting
be
his
the
course.
analytical darling.
he does.
Corsi
Yeah,
up
he
there.
wants to be.
I mean, hey, to his credit though, he hasn't scored, but man, this is the best he's looked in a while, in my opinion.
I
the best
feel
Lewis
like,
chart
and
west of the Mississippi.
I don't want to discredit him at all. He's been playing great, but I do also want to say I feel like the Surge are underestimating him. They have been giving him more looks in the neutral zone than most teams seem to allow to happen. So you want to see the Surge clean up on that end defensively, but we're about to get back underway. We're heading into overtime. So thank you so much, Ghostyferret and Nick. I hope we don't have to see you again for this game because I want to eat my food. But we're gonna get back underway.
All right, face off here. A dire overtime as the Popcorn will at least get their second point of the
Huge.
their season. Huge.
That's bad for both of these teams. Neither of these teams wanted this to go to extra time. Because that's going to make the standings even closer as we get closer to the end of the season.
Here's Goriest up for Arden B. That pass fails as Farabee over for little Ghostyferret. He's in. Fails to get the shot off.
What a miss.
As Vasilevsky able to turn that one aside. Here's Goriest in his corner. Trying to free that puck. He's able to do so, but he's met by Farabee at the red line. Good ping there. Farabee almost got by him. But Goriest making the defensive play. To the middle for nobody. They're able to clear, but Jaden brings it right back in. Goriest's clearing attempt fails. Jaden almost gets the shot off. He whiffs again. He just cannot seem to get these 5 holes off.
You could tell the popcorn are hungry for this win. Sorry, Ghostyferret, if kind of turned you on a little bit, but they are.
I'm already
look like
hungry.
they.
Of
they
course
look like
you
they
are.
really want to win this game. They're playing at a different level so far this overtime.
This is true. Little Ghostyferret getting past Arden B.
Oh, goodbye.
Oh, my bad. Developed. I accidentally pressed my mute key.
All good.
Here's Arden B. Up for Mikes. Mikes will take it to the other side. Bad decision there as Grimace was able to catch up to that one. Brandon unable to get to the puck. It's a foot race, but Brandon will win it. Will win it. Sorry. Birdo XD getting a weak shot off. That doesn't get to the net. Mikes with time. Sends it short side. Past Brandon. But Brandon on the back check. Able to ping that one into the corner. Brandon now. Trying to clear the zone. The popcorn finally able to get it out. Grimace up for Brandon. He's ISO with Mikes. Gets a P3 off. That barely gets to the post. Here's Mike's 2X. Stretching it up for Birdo XD. That's going to be a penalty. It has to be.
No call. No call.
No call. No call on the play.
Ref's gonna put the whistle away. It's overtime. That penalty didn't really affect too much, so I'm not
Here's
too
Brandon.
shocked that he didn't call it. But if you're the popcorn, you're definitely gonna be mad about that because it could have gone either way.
Yeah, very interesting to see whether this game goes in favor of the Surge after that penalty. Here's Goriest cutting through the middle. He gets in, but Spooky Mount able to turn that one aside into the corner.
Interesting to note, these two teams played 2 days ago.
Oh,
And Ghost had
Farabee on
the
a
game winner,
breakaway.
but Farabee's back the other
Farabee's
way.
in. Saved by Vasilevsky.
I feel like every time I try to give my analysis, something cool happens.
Brandon's P3 glove down. Vasilevsky will not play it. Holding true to his word.
That's fair. But yeah,
This'll give
what
you
I
time to
wanted to
analyze.
say before Farabee I almost ruined your call on Farabee's breakaway. I believe we're going to get a timeout here. I cannot see the chat. But the faceoff was canceled. Yep, we're going to get a timeout. Goriest had the game winner 2 days ago when these two teams faced off in Nebraska. So it looks like he almost had a great chance that last shift to do it again, but he was rejected by the popcorn this time around. And then Farabee went back the other way and tried to end it himself, and Vasilevsky came up big with a big save on the 5-hole chance.
Vasilevsky, since that drop, has stopped 16. Not in a row. I think the Brandon tap-in was the 3rd or 4th shot.
It counted as like 3, it looked like. I'm not too sure, but he's been locked in since that mistake. He does not want to... He wants to get it back for his team, you know? He feels like he owes them a good game now.
Definitely doesn't feel like the popcorn have 17 shots on goal. I think some of the shots did bug out. As here's Farabee off the face-off, trying to get it to go in.
I mean,
But-
you have to think, they probably had at least 10 low-quality shots from Brandon from the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And sometimes post shots count, so it's not too surprising.
That's fair. Here's Goriest. Can't find Mike's. Little Ghostyferret will try to clear, but Mike's a great move. Tries the short side. Unable to get anything there. Few whacks behind the net. As Mike's comes away with it. He's up for Goriest. Goriest driving in the middle, but unable to get anything on that as he lost the puck. He'll keep it in the zone, though. As here's Farabee trying to clear it out of the corner. Unsuccessful. Puck is back in his possession. Farabee getting a pass out. Jaden able to clear. Jaden's pass. Into the hands of Goriest. He'll turn that one right back over. Here's Farabee. Up the near boards for nobody. Mike's up for Goriest. Goriest has a shot. That's saved by Spooky Mount. Plays it to the corner. Here's Jaden. Jaden along the near boards, met by Mike's. Willing his way up the ice. It's back into the Surge corner. Jaden unable to keep the clear. 25 seconds left in OT, as we've seen some pretty low event hockey in the past minute or so. I eat my words here as Birdo's in. Birdo, he's in. He scores. Birdo XD ends the game for the Surge.
What a finish from Birdo in the dying seconds of overtime, of the first overtime. He did not want to stay around any longer than he has to. And I guess he just didn't want to play any ISOs as he gets the breakaway chance that he did not miss. Spooky Mouse probably going to be kicking himself for that one. But, you know, nothing you can do now. Any thoughts on that finish, Demoni?
That was incredible. Just as I was talking about low event hockey, Birdo XD just gets an excellent steal off of, I don't know whether it was Farabee, Jaden, or Brundlin. I know it wasn't Grimace, but...
It was Brundlin.
Yeah, Birdo XD just gets
my narrative stands true that he's bad at defense. Thank you, Brundlin.
That is going to be a -1 goals against expected on Alafresco's advanced analytics.
This is true. But
beautiful steal and beautiful finish by Birdo, though.
Yeah, we're gonna cut to a little bit of a break before we get into game 2 of the night. It is the what's the game? Is it it's the marshmallows?
Marshmallows versus popcorn.
All right, perfect. We'll see you guys in around 10 minutes for game 2 of the night. Mallows versus popcorn.
All right. Hello, Blockey Sports Network. We are back for the second game of this evening. The Nebraska Popcorn completing the second leg of their doubleheader against the 1-3-1 Malibu Marshmallows. Both teams at the bottom of the standings, but the Marshmallows have not looked terrible this season. Youppi, can you give some more insight on that?
Yeah, they've had a lot of really close finishes so far. They've looked like a really good team and against a lot of other really good teams that are rated highly, but they just haven't been able to get it done in most matches. But hopefully they can change that tonight and prove that they do belong on. They're on par with all the other contenders in the BHCL. They've had some recent line changes. Luke missed their last game, and they actually managed to pull off their first W without their star piece in Luke. They had Kiet X3 in the lineup, so it'll be interesting to see if they keep him there or they make some changes. But it looks like Zeo1 and Luke are going to be the starting lineup. I'm Youppi. I'm here joined by Demoney for the play-by-play. We're going to have Ghostyferret and connect me between the benches in a little bit. And we're ready to get going here. I think our director is here. I'm currently above the ice, like above
I hope he is.
I hope I move. And we have moved.
Okay, yep.
Sounds good.
He's alive.
He's here. Perfect.
Okay, face-off underway. Here's Zeo1 whiffing on it. That allows Farabee to pull it back. Puck is sent back for Luke. He'll take it back into the Marshmallow zone. He'll stretch one up for Z. Z along the boards, gets a shot off. Almost finds the short side on Mount, but excellent flash of the lever there to make that save. Farabee now in the corner, clearing it out. Puck is on the stick of Zeo1, gets another shot off, and a great glove save by Spooky Mount. He has 3 already in just 30 seconds. Here's Farabee behind his own net. Popcorn struggling a lot more than they did last game. Granted, the Marshmallows are likely a better team than the Surge, but still. Farabee getting a pass up to Jaden. He misreads that one, or he's not in position for it, rather. Still able to push it behind the Marshmallows net. Luke gets one up to Zeo1, defended by Farabee. He'll clear. Luke has a shot. Saved by Spooky Mount. What a glove there.
He's going to hold on to that one finally. He's had quite a few gloves already, but he's been instantly playing them. He knows the meta, but that time he decides that he needs to get his team a line change, and he was going to hold on to it. So far, it looks like the Marshmallows' first line has been all over the Popcorn. So it's probably going to have to come down to these second lines if the Popcorn are going to want to pull this off. Obviously, it's still very early, but it seems like more of last game.
Here's Kiet with a P3 right off the draw. Spooky Mount, sharp eye to catch that one.
And that's why you don't want to play. That's why you want to play the puck in your defensive zone as a goalie, because you don't want to have to deal with that. And I am currently inside of Woe Sniper.
Oh, who is trolling? Here's Brandon.
We need to get the security on this guy, this troll. Oh, what a hit there!
I did not see it. Grimace pass up for Brandon. It's retrieved by Radium. Radium now getting past Grimace. Pass over for Kiet. The one-timer. Unsuccessful as Kiet drives the middle. That's ping away by Grimace. Kiet with another shot. Great ping by Brandon.
Yeah, showing great
Popcorn's second line.
Hit him and then ran away. If you are unfamiliar,
maybe that's
with
why
that
it wasn't
term,
called. Who knows?
If you're unfamiliar with that term, basically in block hockey, when you make a hit in a scrimmage, usually you don't want to have to call an actual penalty, so you just give the puck away, and that's considered good morals. And a lot of players have kind of built that into like their muscle memory to when you hit somebody and you think it might have been a pen, you just give them the puck, you walk away. But you know it's a match. You want to take what you can get. You don't want to give the puck away if you don't have to, if the ref's going to let it go.
Exactly. Here's Jaden whiffing on it. Zeo1 getting possession. Tries to curve around, but Sees no shot opportunity there as Farabee steals. Farabee's shot is wide. I believe Z got a stick on that.
That was a big misplay there from the, potentially there from the Marshmallow, giving Farabee a prime opportunity to finish, but a great back check nonetheless.
Yeah, Z01 just kind of stalled in the neutral zone. Basically gave Farabee that puck as little Ghostyferret steals it from Z behind the net. Z curving around, gets the shot and a goal! What a steal! As he wraps it around and goes far side on Spooky Mount. And it's 1-0 Marshmallows.
Yeah, that's the type of stuff you want to see from a player of his caliber. Z01 was picked very high in the draft for his goal scoring ability, and he's been relatively quiet for a lot of the season. But luckily, we're finally getting to see some of that dynamic offense that he can bring to a team. So he gets a good chance coming out from behind the net, and he tucks it far side on Spooky Mount. Finally breaks through Mount, who looks unbeatable so far at this game.
Incredible play from the young star Z01 as he's finally able to beat Spooky Mount.
Yeah, 100%.
Face off here. Z01 dragging it back, looking for another one. Dragging it back into his own end. Giving himself room, but Farabee takes that space away. And Z01's forced back into his own zone again. Sends it short side for Luke. That pass is defended well by Jaden. For Farabee's successful pass. Able to force it into the Marshmallow zone, but Z01 very tenacious on that puck. Z now trying to clear, unable to do so. Farabee keeping it in. Farabee dragging it back, getting a shot off. Zazpixel unable to play the puck, and Farabee tucks it home on the rebound.
Finally, we're seeing that first line for the Popcorn get active on the score sheet, and it's Farabee finishing on, I believe, his own rebound. Zazpixel with a bit of a misplay there. I believe that the puck just lands in front of him. Can't seem to find it, and if you give Farabee that opportunity, he's not going to miss.
Goaltending's been an issue for Malibu all season. I'd argue it's even worse now with Celebrini being moved to skater or kit.
I mean, Zazpixel's looked good in the opportunities he's had, and, I've scrummed with him. He's a good player. But, he hasn't had a ton of experience at the highest level in matches. So, perhaps that can play a big factor going forward this season for the Marshmallow.
I do agree. Inexperience is usually not something you want to see as Radium gets a great face-off pass from Kiet. But
okay, thank you.
it's right into the chest of Spooky Mount. Here's Radium getting another shot off. That hits the side of the net. He's pressured by Grimace after taking a little too much time. And that puck is cleared away. Brandon unable to defend against Kiet. Getting it out into the Marshmallow zone. Good forecheck from Brandon. Brandon, what a move! What a shot and what a goal! Brandon! Getting the popcorn. They're +1. And it's 2-1.
I'd like to issue an apology to Brunlund. I genuinely was not familiar with your game. Did not know that was in your bag. Very well played from Brunlund. Great move out of the corner. And an even better finish once he got in front of the net. Just spectacular. That's what you expect to see out of your superstar, not your second line. Pretty much a depth scorer at this point in his career. You don't expect him to make plays like that. You're kind of just expecting the casual P3 from the neutral zone like we saw all of last game. But, maybe he's back.
He's going to be thinking about that one all week, probably.
Yeah, probably. He's going to be rewatching the stream plenty. We'll say nice things about him.
Grimace 2-4-5 up to Brandon. Cuts to the middle, tries to get the signature P3 off, but the Marshmallows read the play. Here's Brandon again. He's got a hot hand, but Radium 7 able to take it from him. Marshmallows bunching on the puck a little, but Nebraska hasn't capitalized on that yet. Here's Kiet working it to the middle, but nobody's there, and Spooky Mount will have an easy clear. Unable to get it out of the zone, though, as Brandon pulling it back behind his own net. Taking, again, too much time in Radium's forecheck. Proves to put some pressure on. Out for Kiet. He whiffs on the P3. 3 seconds left. Kiet has to get a shot off. It's saved by Spooky Mount. And it's frozen with 0.4 seconds. They won't have time to get a shot off, but What a save from Spooky Mount there.
Yeah, there's nothing here. There's we might as well start the between the benches segment now. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're not going to. We're gonna give the 0.4 seconds the time it deserves, but I mean, I wish Mount just played it. And that'll do it for
We will see the period
first
concluded.
Period. Shots are 9-2 in favor of Malibu, but they are currently down by a goal, which you would not want to see if you're the Malibu management or a fan of the Marshmallows. But we're going to head it between the benches, back to Ghostyferret and Konechny, and get some of their insight on how this game has gone so far.
You know, before I say anything, Brandon, I am sorry for any or all of the hate I've been giving you recently. That was the best play I've ever seen you make in your whole career, as long as I've been in Blockey Hockey. But besides that, I don't really have any, more nice things. Oh, shout out Farabee as well. He got his very good goal. But besides that, to be honest, I really don't have any positives to say. And my mother taught me as a young kid, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say it. Spooky Mount, he's been playing a great game as well. For the Marshmallows, I feel like they've been all over the popcorn. I mean, obviously the shots are 9-2, but you're down by 1. And against this team, I know how Brandon's, head works. He is going to tell his team to shift into a very defensive style of play, which I'm worried could hurt them, later on in the game, is when things are kind of getting tight. They're not really pushing for offense. They could, get hemmed into the zone for a little bit. But I mean, besides that, they've been all over in this period. It's just, man, they cannot break through Spooky Mount. It feels like they're winning this game by like 3 goals right now, but they're losing by 1.
Yeah, for sure. Is Konechny here? Does he have anything
I'm
to
here.
add? Yes.
And
Awesome.
I definitely do agree with that. I'm gonna be honest, it's just a me thing. I don't understand Malibu's line changes to say. I guess assume that Jaden and Farabee's they're like, stacking their first line. So they, opted to do the same, stacking Z and Luke. But I honestly don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like Luke would be able to, hold out his own against Jaden and Farabee with, like, I guess Radium as his line mate. And Z should be able to score in the second line just fine. But I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to bite him. But I don't know.
I can actually clear up your confusion. So the reason that they're doing this is because they did get their first win of the season with the second line of Radium and Kiet together. So it seems like they're just banking on that. And because they didn't want to split up that second line, they really had no other choice but to stack their first line. Which, whether you agree or disagree with the decision to keep that second line together, that's up to you. But I think Luke's hands were tied when he was making these lines because his team clearly wanted to keep this unit together the way it is. We're gonna get back underway. Sorry for cutting you off, Nick. Sorry for stealing your spotlight, but I'm gonna hand it back to Demoni, and we're gonna get back underway here in the second period.
All right. Face-off underway. Z wins it. Z always does that pullback. That's a bit of an unorthodox move. His little Ghostyferret steals, but Luke able to swat it away on the back check. Luke behind his own net. As I was saying, Z's signature face-off play is to just triple pullback it to give him some room to pass. As Luke defends a shot from Farabee, little Ghostyferret keeps the pressure going. As Luke loops behind his own net. Farabee back for little Ghostyferret. Zia1 cutting towards the middle. Almost gets the shot off, but that's panged away by Farabee. Little Ghostyferret looking for more, but it's off Zia1 and out of play.
Great start to the period there from the Popcorn. They've looked like they've actually been, putting some good, consistent offensive pressure on for the first time, it feels like, this game. For the most part, it feels like their 2 goals have kind of just been off like fluky plays they were able to finish on, but some consistent offense is going to be really good down the stretch.
Oh, here's Zia1.
Zia1.
Great defense by Farabee.
Yeah.
Zia1. Still with it. Farabee working it behind his net. Getting torched by Zia1 there. As Zia1 tries to get a pass, but Farabee, great read to crouch in front of that one. Luke now with it. He's beat by Farabee. Met at the red line by Z, though. Z getting it past Jaden. Trying to cut to the middle, but... little Ghostyferret will retrieve it. He goes up for Farabee. Brundlin now getting past Radium. The P3 past Zaz, pixel it in. Brandon has his second of the game.
And the Popcorn are starting to run away with this one, which is not what you expected if you're a Marshmallow fan.
That's
you
3 out of
expect to come
7.
into this game and, you know, yeah, 3 shots, 3 goals for the Popcorn. It's very unfortunate if you're Zaz Pixel. You're going to be kicking yourself right now if you're looking up at the scoreboard and seeing what your stat line currently is. You could also question maybe it's on the management. Maybe Zaz Pixel just wasn't ready for this type of game, but I don't even think it's been his fault. To be completely honest, a lot of these shots have just been tough to save, and they're very few and far between, so he's not getting a lot of chances to really boost his save percentage. That one was
That is a
questionable, though.
fair argument to make. Brandon's got 3 out of 7 on the night for a
He's almost
band.
there.
Brandon looking for another one, but that's easily swatted away by Zaz Pixel. Radium behind his own net. Looking to get anything going for the Marshmallows at this point. He gives it away to Brandon, but Kiet coming back to make the defensive play. Gets past Brandon. 2-on-1 now. Kiet takes the wrong turn there, and Grimace is able to defend against it. Radium now. Looking to get it over for Kiet. Marshmallows just have not been effective on these one-timers. Kiet has whiffed all 3 of the attempts he's been given, but on the breakaway now was Kiet, but Brandon.
And that's not what you want to see. This second line had so much success off of these one-timers, but now Brandon's going to go back the other way. It's going to be cleared by Radium, and Zaz Pixel can't get his first save of the game. You know, I feel like you need to let some shots through that are weak to get this guy's confidence back up. It's probably in the gutter at this point.
That is true. The Popcorn haven't really taken any weak shots, though.
Yeah, but that's my thing. You know, let some shots from the half wall go on now, you know?
Yeah.
And if he lets them in, then it just wasn't meant to be. But you got to get his confidence back up a little bit, you know? If he gets another breakaway, I'm just not confident that he's going to be able to keep his head clear and stay calm and make the save.
Here's Kiet back for Luke. His P3 ineffective. Farabee over for little Ghostyferret.
Yeah, what a play.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Big touch there to send it onto the Popcorn bench.
Masterful. You know, little Ghostyferret is just one of the greatest players of all time. And after watching that, I think that solidifies his legacy right there.
I forgot to bring up the money lines for the games with the blocking betting service. But for this game, it's Marshmallows -160 and Popcorn +110. So some Popcorn believers may be hitting on their parlays tonight.
I don't think there are many of those. I think that maybe there's like one, and his name is Nolan.
I mean, Ghostyferret was hyping him up.
That's true. That is true. But he was
in the
hyping him
pregame
up for the
analysis.
last game.
That's
He wasn't hyping
true.
him up for this game. He's a fake Popcorn fan.
I couldn't agree more. Here's Zeo1 behind his net, challenging Farabee. Unable to get away with it. Here's Farabee taking it to the half wall. Cutting towards the middle of the ice in the neutral zone.
Woo!
Great ping to get around Z. Wow. What a tight curve there. As Jaden kind of struggling to defend against Luke, but Farabee swoops in and knocks that puck into the corner. Luke now driving the middle. Unable to get the curve off. Jaden will pressure Z. As Brundlin switches on for Farabee. Z gets a P3 off. That goes nowhere. As Spooky Mount's able to clear that one. Bit of a 1-2 punch there with Spooky Mount passing it to Brandon for the clear. Here's 0-1. P3. He scores! He is lethal from that range. As Zeo1 has 2.
What a finish from Zeo1. And, you know, I was thinking going into the second intermission, I was already thinking about what I was going to say. And it seems like the Marshmallow are playing into what I was kind of thinking. They need to stay calm. They need to not just try to, you know, force pucks through the middle against this Popcorn team. Because I've scrimmaged against this Popcorn team. I know how they like to play, especially the second line. And they like to just kind of clog the center of the ice and then launch pucks into your zone when you start to panic. And it makes it really, really frustrating to play against. And Luke, with a great pass, stayed calm on the odd man rush. and found Z for a great finish.
Popcorn, or sorry, Marshmallows rather, really haven't gotten the saves, but they have unlocked Zio1, who did finish, I believe, 4th or 5th in points last season as Kiet drives the net.
Yeah, you want to see more out of him consistently, but you'll take what you can get now.
Kiet unable to finish the one-timer. That allows Brandon to pressure, but Kiet knocks it out of his own zone. Here's Radium now, up the near boards, looking for Kiet again. Man, this connection just really is not working as well as it did in previous games.
Oh, centered to
Here's
Radium by
Radium.
the goalie.
Wow,
Couldn't capitalize.
almost a bad misplay for Spooky Mount. Here's Grimace. Up for Brandon, but that pass is unsuccessful as Kiet read it. Here's Radium now, but out for Kiet. Kiet's shot! Saved by Spooky Mount. What a sliding save with the glove, too. He is
And
activated tonight.
like the end of the first period, we're not going to have much time on the clock to end this period, but they do have enough to make something happen here on this face-off. Contrary to the last period, they had 0.4 going to last intermission, 2.7 seconds to get a shot off. Popcorn need to make sure they shut this down.
It really
And it looks like they will. Sorry, I was kind of tripping over my words
you're
there.
good. We'll send it between the benches here to discuss with Ghostyferret and Connecty what they saw this period.
Yeah, I mean, the Popcorn look amazing. Brandon, I mean, this is the best game Brandon's played in a long time. I feel like he's putting up another goal on the board. For me, it's just the opportunities for the Popcorn haven't been frequent, but they are just capitalizing on every opportunity. And it was funny because I feel like at the start of the season, they were putting up goals, but we just said Mount isn't playing to, his, talent, his potential, and he's kind of letting the team down. This is, I think, what the Popcorn were kind of built for, like these types of games right here. Mount to save 9 out of 11 shots, the Popcorn having very few shots, but when you capitalize on all of them, as it is, 3 shots, 3 goals.
Definitely agree with that there. Obviously, Pixel 0 save percentage right now, very demoralizing for him.
Rough game.
I'm sure he'll get his confidence back though. Hopefully, like Youppi suggested earlier, let a few like P rollers kind of get on target, get those saves up. The Popcorn, I was not very familiar with this team's game. Teams looks very different than when I was on the team.
I wonder why.
Wonder who the denominator is there. But Popcorn are playing very good right now. It's actually, it's nice to see Mount playing exactly how he should be playing. Brandon, he's honestly just had a great night altogether. Honestly, it's been a legacy night for him. That period though is honestly the Marshmallows are getting a good amount of chances. That second line of Kiet and Radium, they didn't look too hot, but I guess at the end they had.
Looks like the Magic's kind of worn off.
It's kind of like the Magic looks like it wore off, but at the end it kind of looked like it was like getting juiced back up, reviolated, something like that.
Yeah.
But and then the period ended. But besides the point. Honestly, I don't know how this game's gonna go. I want the Marshmallows to win. I'm a big fan of the Marshmallows, but I also don't want to root against my former team.
Yeah, I can completely understand that. I'd like to butt in real quick and get the entire booth or panel, whatever you want to call this, your opinions. Ghostyferret is here, and they can play him. It does seem like the second line has started to kind of figure it out, but would you ever consider maybe making that change to switch things up if, we're getting closer to the end of the game and nothing seems to be working? Not just a great defensive player, but he is a good playmaker too, and could maybe help get one of these players active in this third period.
Yeah, like you said earlier, with these lines, it felt like Luke was kind of forced to play his hand. So I wonder how that would mess up that synergy there on the team. But I think you should look towards him as an option.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to forget about him, but we're about to get back underway. We'll hand it back to Damoni. And the camera is facing the wrong way. And we're back.
Zio1 wins it back. Luke tries the face-off play. Farabee almost own goals. But that's batted down by Spooky Mount. Zazpixel coming out to play that one.
Oh,
P3
save!
from Therapy. Easy save for Zazpixel. Finally gets his. Finally gets his.
From the kid. You love to see it.
Exactly. Zazpixel, a very likable character. Luke sends one to Zio1. That P3 airmailed right into the shins of Farabee. Farabee defending against Luke at the red line. Luke has an opportunity. Can't beat Ghostyferret. I believe Farabee may have gotten a stick on that as well. Jaden up the ice now. Jaden into the stick of Z01. Spooky Mount coming out to deny Luke's opportunity. Here's Jaden. Can't get past Zazpixel. He will do the same thing he just saw Spooky Mount do. Luke in his own end. Up for Z01. Z now. Blocked by Spooky Mount. Again, he's had to come out of his crease for the last few shots. Here's Luke defending against Jaden. Z01 will take the handoff there. Puck is sent up the near boards for Luke. One-on-one with Brandon. Unable to do so, Z will take it. Brandon putting on a defensive masterclass, able to forecheck it all the way into the Malibu zone. Radium beats Brandon at the blue line. Here's Kiet now, trying to get past Grimace. The pullback is unsuccessful. Grimace entering the Malibu zone, trying to get a P3 on. That's shouldered away by Zazpixel. Back out to center ice for Brundlin. Brandon now defended in the corner by Radium. Brandon gets away with it. Tries, I believe he may have tried the P3 there, but
he was definitely charging that up.
Yeah, Kiet got a stick on that. And more as Kiet tries to curve towards the middle, but Grimace, great positioning there to deny that opportunity. Brundlin now. Met by Radium at center ice. He'll send one in. Radium driving towards the net, but pinged away. Out to Kiet. His shot dies in traffic. Pulls it back on Grimace. He's in, but Spooky Mount able to ping it out to all the way to the center ice dot. Here's Farabee. Pulled back by Radium. The pullback has really been working for the Marshmallows the past minute or so. Here's Kiet curving towards the middle, trying to get a shot off, but Jaden's there. The rebound sent wide. Farabee up the boards now. Looking for something. Wrestling it past Luke. Willing his way into the corner. Z01's on him. Luke watching the pass. Farabee unable to get anything off that net drive. And Z01 will take it out. 2-on-1. Z01 up for Luke. His P3. Saved by Spooky Mount. Rebound is collected by Jaden. Good curve around Luke. Can't get through Z01. Farabee able to ping it away from him. Up for Jaden. But Luke making the play there. 1:37 for the Marshmallows to get anything going. They have just been stonewalled by Spooky Mount so far.
Yeah, and we're getting into the dying minutes of this period. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but never mind. Z01.
Oh, Z01 getting around Spooky Mount. What a glove save! He keeps this game alive for the popcorn.
Dude, every time I try to analyze the game, they just do something interesting. I'm so sorry. I'm doing my best here.
That was 2 minutes straight of just really low event hockey, and then as soon as you start talking,
what can you do? But we're getting into the dying moments of this game, and you can tell the Marshmallow are gonna have to, start forcing stuff through the middle. They're gonna start playing a little nervous, and you don't want to see that. Obviously, as a fan, you want to see them stay calm and do what's been working to get chances. But it's just the instinct of a player. You're gonna get nervous, and you're gonna start doing some maybe dumb things to try to get a goal on the board, and that could bite them.
I agree. We've seen that with the Otters in their win against their loss against the Surge. Here's a pass out for Z01. Has the net open, but the puck was too far.
I just saw Luke run off the ice. Looks like we're going to get the second lines out for a little bit. I'm sure the Marshmallow are going to want to get a timeout sometime soon. Or maybe they trust the second line. Z01's still on the ice, though.
Here's Z01. Attacked by Brandon. He's unable to clear. Yeah, the Marshmallow have pulled. Radium, Kiet, and Z01. The personnel for the Marshmallows to try and get one going here. All three of them stacked on the boards there. Funny turn of events there as Luke gets a shot off. Spooky Mount, what a glove save. Or sorry, blocker save.
Yeah, where are you going with that? He just dumped the puck into the zone. He gave it right to the popcorn. They're going to have to recover it. 10 seconds left.
Kiet out to the middle. It's no use. Brandon might have his third, but Radium can't get one out, and the Marshmallows will lose. The Nebraska Popcorn have won a Blockey Hockey game.
That is unbelievable.
I would you like to say I'm a day one believer?
You were not a believer for this game, man. Let's not lie. We have it on tape. But the I don't know what Kiet was doing in that last 20 seconds. I don't want to jump on him. They just lost, but he has the puck in the neutral zone. He has an opportunity to regroup with his team, and he just P3'd it right down the middle. He didn't P3 it to a spot where you'd expect a teammate to be. He just launched it in the zone, and the ice just gets rushed with fans all cheering for the popcorn, even some fake believers in Marshmallows jerseys. But it seems like everybody's excited for them nonetheless. But
Really a tough loss for the Marshmallows.
yeah, maybe Foosley's a curse. I feel like the only
I
game
mean-
she didn't stream, they won. So I mean that's tough look for the Marshmallows.
I didn't
But,
even realize Foosley was streaming this one.
I believe
But-
she is. But we're gonna go on break. Next match will be in around 15 minutes. We've got the Sacramento Surge playing again, and they're gonna be playing against the Blue Ridge Blizzard. This is going to be a very interesting game. There's a lot of players are going to be missing for both teams tonight. Notably, it's going to be a Kuzo missing the game for the Blizzard, who's their number one option, their best player, their best defender, their best everything. So that's going to be a tough game for the Blizzard. But until then, we'll be right back.
Hey, welcome to the final game of the Blockey Hockey Creator League Day 8. Today we'll be seeing the Sacramento Surge, who've already played tonight, take on the Blue Ridge Blizzard. Any thoughts on this, how this game's going to turn out, Youppi?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting one for sure, because we're not seeing a Kuzo here for the Blizzard, who is, known to be a core piece to this team. I believe the Surge are also without some players. I believe they do not have Birdo XD for tonight's match, which will be a big hit to their offense.
They won't have mics either.
They will not have mics either.
Or they'll have them for the first part of the game.
So it looks like we're going to see some appearances from some unlikely faces, including Nips, Moya, and that might be it. I'm not too sure who else is really on this team that low on the depth chart. I need the director to move me to center ice when he gets the chance. The Blue Ridge Blizzard are rocking their alternate jerseys tonight.
They're also missing EXO, so it's a shame he has to miss the alternate game.
This is true.
Face-off will be underway.
I am in the upper bowl. Oh, we're good. All right. Oh my God, Nips.
Face-off underway. Here is Nips, starting on a line with Goriest. Clamper getting past him. Clamper's in. That's saved by Vasilevsky. I think Goriest may have gotten a stick on that. Here's Dripsky. Dripsky and Clamper, the first line for this Blue Ridge Blizzard team. Goriest getting one up, trying to hit Nips, but Clamper's there to make the defensive play. He'll pass one up for Dripsky. Dripsky now mishandles it. Goriest's forecheck. Successful in forcing him back into the zone, but Nips is the one who's able to get his stick on it. Nips now. Trying to get something going. Nips has not played a game yet. This is his first BHCL game. The veteran is usually a 5th or 6th man, and that is his role on the Surge.
Yeah, but they've had a lot of activity issues.
Oh, a pass out for Mikes. Clamped down by Dripsky and Mimi. Will glove it and hold.
You know, something I think is going to come big into play this game is we've never seen Dripsky play at that #1 role on a team. We've always seen him kind of sheltered on second lines. Last season with the Wings, this season so far with the Blizzard. I'm really curious to see how he's going to do against top-level competition. But we're not going to see him for a little bit because the second lines are now on the ice. Mikes and Siffin on the draw.
Oh, Mike's getting the shot off. That's batted down by Mimi. You make an interesting point, though, about Dripsky. Hasn't really been in that big role yet, so we'll see how he does facing top players.
And some players just flourish on one of the two lines. Some players are just much better fit for the second line. Some do better on the first line, which, sounds kind of, counterproductive as to what you would expect, but just kind of how it goes. The game is played a little bit differently on the first and second lines.
Alex Anar of the Blizzard is known as a second line defenseman. Despite being one of the greatest BHL players of all time, he's mostly spent his time just clamping up the second line and being that dominant force.
You've got to respect it. Every superstar needs their co-star if they want to win, and he has always been willing to fill in that role to be on the winning team.
Here's Alex Anar for Siphon. That shot is blocked down by Moya. Relatively even game so far. Interesting seeing the Blizzard not really taking advantage of the Sacramento Surge being down a player already with a limited roster.
You look at the second line for the Blizzard, you can really see where they're missing out with having EXO out, is that the fact that Dripsky was moved up a line. Oh, but Dripsky with a great chance.
Oh, Dripsky Nips, unable to get the ping off. Man, and it's a freak accident as Dripsky...
I need to stop analyzing mid-play, man. It always happens. It's without a doubt.
No worries.
It's like my caster's curse, except this is even worse because I'm ruining your awesome calls. But I was just about to say that the second line for the Blizzard looked quite slow out there without Dripsky. They have two defenders. Siffin, who's a pretty solid forechecker, I can tell you from experience. But Dripsky comes right out and shuts me up, so I can't really continue talking about that.
Just a poor play by Nips, and Vasilevsky was not really expecting Dripsky to be able to make a move there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I think he was reading it more about Dripsky just curving it around him rather than just shooting it straight in.
you want a player that's in the BHCL to play at the caliber of a BHCLer, and that is not what that play from Nips was. Just an absolute blunder. Anyway, we're gonna
Can't
go back
agree
to
more. All right, Dripsky trying to get past Gorius, but he gets the delayed ping off. Gorius known for that as he plays on EU servers. Here's Dripsky, sprung by Camper, saved by Vasilevsky. Puck is not out of the zone yet. Gorius able to clear. Nips will forecheck that. Nips easily beat by Camper. The pullback is unsuccessful, but Camper elects to leave that puck behind, as I think he realized he was getting a bit too aggressive with it. Here's Dripsky pulling it out of the corner. Beats Gorius, but Vasilevsky stones him in front. Dripsky again. Trying that short side, but Vasilevsky proving to just stand tall in net. Gorius now. Getting past Alex and R, but Siffin there on defense. Alex and R 2-on-1 here. Pass over for Siffin. Gets the P3 off, but Vasilevsky will glove that one down. He'll drop it. Moya takes it after some miscommunication there. Here's Alex and R getting past Mike's, but Mike's turning around, pinging that one into the corner. Here's Alex and R now. Sends it backwards for his line mate Siphon. Poor decision there as Mike's is easily able to forecheck that. Mike's now trying to get a shot going on Mimi. Moya takes a step back as Siphon brings it out. Siphon gets a P3 off, right off the inside post and out the other side, as that was a very good chance for Siphon.
Yeah, there was a lot of open net there for him to aim at. He just barely missed and hit the short side post.
Here's Mike's getting around Alex and R, gets the shot off the post, and Mimi own goals it. Tie game. We've seen a lot of own goals tonight.
I mean, yeah, I'm
or
used
just mistakes by the goaltender.
You know, I'm used to the own goals coming on my own team. It happens a lot. It's kind of something we've become a little notorious for, I feel like. So, you know, I hate to see it because I know how tough it is as a team to bounce back, especially for the goalie, you know. I'm watching Mimi right now. He's you know, checking on his positioning, you know, getting a feel for his crease again. Maybe he felt like he might have been a little out of position there, but, you know, what can you do? You got to move on. This is where a good mental for your team comes in to try to keep your goalie's head in it. And maybe losing EXO could be a factor as well in not having him here.
Yeah.
He's
EXO is the main leader on this team.
He's a player that I know is willing to step up as a leader for his team to help them get wins. And ohLuvv seems to be here now, which is a huge boost for the Sacramento Surge.
Here's Clamper now. Tries to get one up for Dripsky, but Gorius. Excuse me. Able to ping that one. ohLuvv with a grade A chance.
He's
Stopped by Mimi.
inactive.
Butterflying all the way out at the top of the hash. And that will do it for the first period. We're tied 1-1. Blue Ridge Blizzard lead the shot counter 7-4.
You know,
We'll send it between the benches.
Before we send it between the benches, I'd like to add one more thing. I do think that the remainder of this game is going to be really dependent on how much longer we get to see Mike's. I heard that he was only going to be here for like the first period, but it seems like he's still here and still ready to play. So I'm gonna leave my analysis on that. We're gonna now send it between the benches to Ghostyferret and Konechny.
Yeah, thank you. I do agree with what you just said. If Mike's has to leave, it's not looking good for the Surge because, you know, unfortunately for the Surge, that means Zips has to come back into the game, which, you know, from what we just watched, it's do you run a 3-man at that point? But that's besides the point. With Arden back in the game, I actually really like their chances at winning this game with EXO gone. Dripsky has looked decent on the first line, hasn't looked, you know, to the same level he's looked on the second line. I think we can all agree with that here. But with Arden in the game, it's going to be tough with Dripsky and Clamper. It's his first line to, you know, not generate, but, you know, hold back, you know, the offensive attack from Arden and Gorius together.
Nah, definitely agree with that. I'm gonna be honest though, Nips, the first shift, first like 20 seconds, he looked all right. Got the puck into the zone. He's getting some, I don't know about chances, but you know, it looked like he was hitting it at least, and then it kind of fell apart after. I feel like that's the experience when you have him on your team, or he just says that he's the best, something like that. But very even game so far. like you said, chances of winning this game without XO probably pretty high for Surge. Again, when Mike goes, it might get a little rough, but then I feel like Chokington might be able to hold his own and help just, alleviate the missing defense there. You'll still have Arden and who'll be able to score. And Nips, I mean, again, I just slandered him, but sometimes he shows the ability to do something on a very rare occasion.
A very, very, very rare occasion.
On occasion, he
Sure,
looks like he might be serviceable sometimes.
I'm sure former teammates of his in this booth can
Uh-huh.
attest to that.
Uh-huh.
You know, great glue guy, but when it comes to playing on the ice, there's always other options. You
It
can
is
say.
where that is where he is the most valuable. He is a great glue guy, but I don't know if some people.
I will actually vouch. I think that he is unironically a great glue guy. I've had him on my teams in the past. He's a great energy in the voice call, but other than that, I don't know what value he brings.
He can pull
None.
back a few times.
None. That's mean, but I kind of agree with you.
That is very rude, Ghostyferret. That is very rude.
You know what? You're right. My mom did teach me better than that. If you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it.
All right, we'll start the second period off right now as we go back up to the booth. Here's Dripsky
Okay.
off the face-off. Arden B gets a shot off. Pass from Goriest, intercepted by Camper. That was almost a dangerous chance for the Surge. Here's Camper for Dripsky. Goriest making an excellent ping to block that passing lane. Goriest willing his way into the Blue Ridge zone. Camper defending him. Goriest capitalizes on Camper's inexperience in the corners, but Mimi standing tall in net to save that one. Arden B keeping it in the zone. Arden trying to get around Camper. On Dripsky now. Arden seemingly pinging everything there as he was very good at keeping the puck in that zone. Here's Dripsky clearing. Arden B brings it right back in. Has a shot. Saved by Mimi. He'll glove it. And he will hold.
Mimi, old head goaltender, still in the still used to holding every puck that comes his way. Maybe he's just unaware of the threat that comes with this. Maybe he just doesn't really think about it, just habit. But we're gonna have a dangerous face-off, and it looks like first lines are gonna stay out for a little bit. Maybe it's the Surge are confident in Arden B be able to finish this, and the Blizzard want to keep Dripsky out here to defend it.
Arden B bringing it back off the face-off. Unable to get a shot away, as I'm sure that's what he was going for.
Stream,
Here's
that's
Alex and
my
R and
fault.
Dripsky on. They're stacking this first line.
Sorry, stream. All
Dripsky
good.
now. Dripsky getting it away from Arden B as Vasilevsky clears one out his crease. That could have been dangerous. As Dripsky sent one in, careening towards the near post. Here's Dripsky, can't free it from the corner. Goriest defending against him. Mike's taking that as Goriest will take a change. Moya not where he thought he was going to be. Or not where he thought she was going to be. As here's Siphon dumping it in. Alex and R will take that puck. Gets it deep into the Surge zone. Gets a sharp angle shot off. Hits the side of the net. Out for Siphon. Open chance, but he'll whiff on it a couple times before regrouping in his own zone. Gets past Moya. Siphon looking for the pass, but Moya strong on that back check. The only female player so far in BHCL to make an appearance, and this is her second game. Here's Siphon hitting the pullback on Mike's. Mike's 2x. Bringing it into the Blue Ridge zone. It's still tied. People did not really expect the shorthanded Surge to be this close to the Blizzard. Here's Alex and R getting a P3'd off. That dies in the hitbox of Moya. Siphon now dumps it into the corner. Mike's 2x will retrieve it for the Surge. Mike's now. Trying to get it out, but takes too much time as Siphon will forecheck that one. Getting it out to Clamper. He has an open P3 saved by Vasilevsky. Wow, what a glove.
That's why he's the GOAT. Undisputed the GOAT. Great flash of the leather there to shut down a prime opportunity from Camper off the outlet pass from Siphon out from the corner. you know, 9 out of 10 times, your goalie is not expected to save that. But when you got Vasilevsky behind you, you're a little more confident.
You could say he's been electric so far this game. And
Okay.
tonight... Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Here's
I
Dripsky.
rock with it.
Gorius bringing it out of the surge zone. Clamper will defend against him as Gorius is forced all the way back into the corner. Clamper, good forecheck there. Looking for more, but Gorius denying that chance.
Oh,
Gorius pass out for Arden B. Open shot. Arden B takes it. Saved by Mimi. Flashes the leather.
and I guess
And
you
he
could
will
say
hold that
Mimi
puck.
is ice cold.
Yeah. He's really blowing us away.
Wow. Okay, man.
Cause like blizzard and like
Yeah,
wind.
like the wind.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Yep. Here's the face-off in the offensive zone.
Oh my god.
In favor of the
Controlled.
surge. Arden B pulling it back, looking for the shot. Dripsky now blocking that one down and getting it up for Camper. Camper finding the near post, taps in the rebound. Blizzard up by 1.
What a finish from Camper off a great initial shot off the post. If you don't think he did that intentionally, you don't know the game. Great finish off a great play from Dripsky to find him open on the other side of the ice. No one there to cover him. Vasilevsky did his absolute best to recover, but he was just a little too far out of his net to be able to get back in time and make the stop.
A very unfortunate turn of events for the Surge, but they can turn it around. It's anybody's game.
Oh, for sure. The Surge have looked like they've had plenty of chances of their own. They just need to start finishing them. And you know, Mimi has had a rough season so far, so it's definitely not this 1-goal lead is far from being out of reach.
Here's Arden B unable to get anything off that face-off win as Dripsky right away applies the pressure on the Surge. Dripsky getting a P3 off. That misses the net. Arden B now trying to take it. Dripsky almost getting the curve around, but it's sent up for Gorius. Clamper now heads into the zone. Curves around Arden B.
Ooh.
What a goal by Camper. He walks the entire team for his second in just like 30 seconds. Wow.
And in the first game without Akuzo for Clamper for at least this season, he looks a lot more comfortable than he has in a lot of previous games. It looks like he's finally coming into his own as a player, as an individual at least. He's been a great role player all season, but we haven't really seen him able to generate plays like this on his own without needing a good setup from his line mate. He just drove right around Arden B, went right around the side of Vasilevsky and buried that one.
Great edge work from Clamper there, and great dangling there too. Oh, come on. He went right around
talking
both
about
of
the
them.
skating, man. Talking about the skating.
Tucker.
Yeah. Alex Sinar. Pass up for Siffin. Moya able to retrieve that one. A minute left in the second period, as I'm sure you've heard. Here's Siphon forechecking Moya. Blue Ridge have been hot in the second half of the second period. Scoring 2 quick ones on the Surge. And that's sent out a play by Alex Sinar. What do you think the Surge have to do to get back in this game, Youppi?
I think they need to maybe score some goals, play some defense, make some good passes. But jokes aside, they need to start actually generating plays, starting in their own zone. I feel like they're kind of just winging it offensively. They need to start, getting a little more creative with passes, like the Blizzard have been doing for the most part. Great shot there from Dripsky off a pass from Alex.
Dripsky's P3 out to Alex Sinar with the rebound. His shot dies in traffic. It's out of play again. Skater butterfly. Those who don't know, the puck is normally supposed to go under the skater's feet if you end up 5-holing it, but sometimes the game just does not want to cooperate with that mechanic. Goalies can do it, though. Mike's a great pass up for Gorius. He fails to read it, and Alex Sinar will get back to retrieve that puck. Alex up for Dripsky. Met at the blue line by Mike's. Alex will send one in deep. Gorius taking care of that. He clears the zone. Dripsky brings it right back in. Almost gets past him, but Gorius turns it around and pings it right into the corner. 4 seconds left. Surge will have to kill this one off, as Goriest will, and that'll be the end of the second period.
I don't have much to say. We could set this right between the benches to Ghostyferret
Alright.
and Konechne.
Yeah, I really don't have a ton to say either. Thankfully for the Surge, Mike's has been able to, still be here throughout 2 periods. But I feel like, unfortunately, any hope that I really had for the Surge winning this game is just kind of gone. I mean, to me, this team just looks kind of dead right now. You could argue in the first game of the night against the Popcorn, you could have made a really good argument that they should have lost that game. And here they are down 3-1 to the Blizzard without a Kuzo, who's one of the best players in the league, obviously, and well, I don't need to say it, but the best player on this team. It's sad to watch, honestly. I feel like Choke is not even playing that bad, but it's just the supporting cast around him. Gorius he made a comment earlier. He's like, "You're so lucky I don't get to play who I want to play with." I just feel like this team is just not gelling well together.
Definitely do agree with that. On a more positive note, Clamper looks to be ice cold tonight. Absolutely ice cold. And, I see a little bit of a Kuzo in him, just a tiny bit. A little bit of prime Kuzo in him.
Yeah.
All the way back in 09. That's what I see in him. But I think, he's doing very well. Very good. See, since Exo's not here, him and Dripsky have been working quite well. It looked a little rough, I think, at the start, just a little bit, but it's looking very, very good now. The Surge are just kind of looking, I'm going to be honest, they're just looking a little dead. Nothing really generating out of them. They're trying their best, but, it just looks to be...
Yeah, I mean,
and Choke's still playing quite well.
From my point of view, besides Vasilevsky, obviously, the team just kind of looks dead. Unfortunately, they will still be in a playoff spot. Luckily for them, is getting that win over the Popcorn tonight keeps them, I believe, at that the fifth seed right now. But I mean, for a team that's sitting in the 5 seed and the 5th seed, they just kind of look dead.
I do agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the Surge really just have not shown any life in the back half of the second period. They looked to be sort of alive in the first. Granted, their only goal was a Mimi mistake, but we will send it back up to the booth as the third period will be underway in 10 seconds. Surge really looking to bring this one back, but the Blizzard have all the momentum, so it's going to be hard. Face-off underway. Dripsky winning it forward. Moya will collect that one. Tries to force it up for Goriest, but Clamper, a bit of a weak P3 there. Still ends up on the stick of Dripsky. Here's Camper up for Dripsky. Dripsky now trying to get it free from the boards, but Gory is doing a great job of defending him. Clamper up for Dripsky. Moya now in the corner with it, clears it. Still out for Camper, finds Dripsky on the far side. He'll P3 it off the post. Dripsky now behind the Surge net, trying to work it out for his line mate who was LCing. Moya sending it back for Goriest. Goriest pressured by Dripsky. Good pressure to keep it in the zone there as Dripsky, big hit on the puck, and that will be a penalty. Goriest will not utilize the delayed penalty, and the Surge will be going on the power play for the first time this game.
Yeah, very, very tough penalty to take for the Blizzard, but, it happens. First penalty of the night, I believe. It took a little bit, but we're finally going to get to see some power play action. Arden B and Mike's looks to be the unit that the Blizzard plan to go with. I mean, not the Blizzard, the Surge. How do you think this is going to play out?
I don't know. Arden and Mike's are the two most offensively gifted players on this team, besides Birdo XD, who is not present. I think the Surge could turn it around with one goal here. They could shift the momentum in their favor. Here's Arden winning it off the face-off. Easy save for Mimi, as that one was not getting to the net. Alex and R trying to clear. Mike's 2x to the middle for Ardent B. Mimi plays it out to neutral ice.
Great
As
heads-up
Alex
play
and R
there from
working it.
Mimi. That's the
Incredible
veteran
play, I agree.
experience right there from Mimi to know to come out and take that puck.
That's
Oh,
true. Here's
Mike's.
Mike's. Oh, a bad play there, as Alex and R was leaning towards the pass. I think he should have just shot that. Don't you agree?
I mean, at that point, you clearly were trying to pass. You whiffed on your first attempt. Alex and R was so cheated over the pass, and he still just launched it there anyway after the fact. I mean, at least fake the shot first if you really want to pass it. But, yeah, I don't think that was the right play.
Definitely a rough power play for the Surge, but here's Ardent B. 2-on-1 developing. Clamper with the clamps, hence his name. Clamper getting a shot off. Vasilevsky will glove it and hold it as Camper gets in his face, looking for that dropped puck. Vasilevsky not taking any chances after what happened earlier tonight.
Is it a penalty if the goalie runs into the pie slice with the puck in their glove?
I don't think so.
It
Shouldn't be.
Why
Should be?
not? The goalie's not supposed to go on the pie slice, and they have puck possession.
I think it's
If you-
the goalie's not
if you
supposed to hit
think
it in the
about
pie
it.
slice.
No, the goalie's
Yeah,
not
that's a
ju-
good
just not-
question, actually.
They're not supposed to touch the puck in the pie slice, and he has the puck in his glove.
That's true.
So he
That's
is
true.
touching the puck. So,
Well, a bit of a misunderstanding on the rules
Yeah.
there, but play goes on. Camper up to Alex and R. Great swap by Ardent B.
very niche rule.
He'll keep that, but Alex and R hitting the pullback on him. Clamper looking to get a pass over for Alex and R at his P3. Goes wide. Vasilevsky playing it back for Mike's. Mike's 2x up for Goriest. Clamper will win that puck, though. Dripsky changes on for the Surge, or the Blizzard. Excuse me. Goriest trying to get something going, but he's defended by Dripsky, and Clamper blocks the P3 blast from neutral ice. Clamper is really having a great game, don't you agree?
Oh yeah, he's playing out of his mind. He stepped up big with EXO not being here. They needed somebody to
Oh,
one of their
2-on-1.
depth pieces to really activate this game, and he's been that guy.
Moya retrieving the loose puck off the 2-on-1 for the Blizzard there.
Yeah, I almost
Clamper defending against her shot.
analysis cursed it. We can call it that.
Oh, Dripsky at
Can we do it
P3! It finds its way to the back of the net. The pass from Clamper, and Dripsky has two on the night. This
There it
line
goes.
has been cold. Ice cold, you could say. You
Oh
could
my
say.
God, dude. I mean, sure. Why not? They've been ice cold. I kind of ruined your call again. I was kind of just
It's all
yapping
good.
over that, but you know, it's been happening so much. I'm kind of used to it at this point. Great play from Camper to find Dripsky open on the other side of the ice. And honestly, a better reaction from Dripsky. He started running away before the pass even came. It looked like they calmed it well. They knew what they wanted to do, and it was just perfectly executed.
Face-off canceled here. I'm not sure. Oh, the Sacramento Surge have called his timeout. 1:39 left to go. They might pull Vasilevsky. I think they could pull Vasilevsky here. It would be certainly a bit early, but they are down by 3. And they do really need this win to stay in the playoff hunt. Dripsky and Mike's 2x exchanging some words on the ice. Timeout has concluded. We have to wonder what the Surge cooked up here. As Dripsky intentionally not winning the faceoff. Goriest gets a shot off of it, but Dripsky's BM there proved to not really have a consequence as the Surge could not capitalize there.
Yeah,
Gorius
that
now.
sucks. When you're getting disrespected like that in the dying minutes of the game, you have a chance to score and you miss. It just makes it hurt even more.
Yeah. Bad turn of events for the Surge. We'll see if they can pull it back as Gorius gets a pass up to Mike's. They have to pull here soon, you'd think. But I mean, with this big of a goal deficit,
They need to.
They might just-
So this game
yeah.
is out of reach at this point.
out of reach.
They just
The only game that's been out of reach so far tonight.
And it sucks because, you know, this team just doesn't have any of their offensive firepower, it feels like, in Berto XD. He is just one player, and he has been playing a lot of second line for them, but he's been so good for them to make up for the lack of, like, offense that this team picked up in the draft. So not having him for basically... And they had him earlier, but not having him for this game when the other team's missing their best defense just really sucks if you're a fan of the Surge.
Interesting choice to play Alex and R over Camper to ice this game, as Camper's been having a great game. So you think they'd
you want to
play
go with the
him.
experienced guy. Alex and R's been in this
That's
situation. He's been in much more intense situations than this, so this is just another game to him. And you know, for Camper, he's still young in the league. He might have a little bit more trouble, and maybe the nerves will get to him a little bit more than they would for Alex.
Alex and R, known as one of the most clutch players of all time. I think he has the most playoff overtime goals in league history.
I believe so. BHL history. You have the record
BHL
tied
history,
at
yeah,
0
not this
for
league, not
BHCL.
this league. Oh, Goriest breaking in, has a shot, and Mike's 2x.
Clutch 3 from
Clutch
Chris
3.
Paul.
Chris Paul hits clutch 3. He cuts the lead to 2 with 3 seconds left in the third.
And he has the only
Vasilevsky's
2
gonna be
goals
feeling
of the
that
night.
one.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure he just wants his stats. Or sorry, Mimi.
Oh, I'm sure that Mike's. I was about to say, I'm sure Mike's wants to get out of here. I think he has somewhere else to be. He ended up sticking around for the whole game, which is surprising. But
If
this
I were
comeback
Mike's,
is- This comeback is quite literally impossible at this point. I do not think there was physically enough time on the clock to get 2 goals. So hopefully they just let the clock die out now. No funny business.
I agree. I think if I were Mike's there, I just wouldn't have scored that if he had somewhere to
Oh.
be. Oh, he
And,
gets a last second shot off. Would have gone
That'll
wide,
do it.
but that will do it for the game. You are correct. And that'll do it for the night too.
Yeah.
As the Blue Ridge Blizzard defeat the Sacramento Surge, both teams shorthanded, but Blue Ridge prevails without their superstar. As Dripsky and Camper team up to absolutely dominate the Sacramento Surge.
Looks like the Blizzard are lining up to do some handshakes, but the Surge are not too interested after getting kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassed, but beat pretty bad. Without the other team having a Kuzo. I just want to imagine what the score would have been if a Kuzo was here. It would have gotten ugly.
Oh, it would have been very ugly.
But that's
Without
gonna do
their
it
top.
That's gonna do it for tonight's games. Great night of matches. 3 very entertaining games. This one not as much as the other 2. But I've been Youppi. I've been your color commentator and basically all of the production for the stream. I was joined by Demoni with the play-by-play, Ghostyferret and Connect Me, who were on the desk and between the benches, Luke, who was on the desk at the very beginning of the stream, if you were here, and ohLuvv with all the directing and, I guess, photography with replay mod. That'll be done after the fact. I guess,
And the reffing.
Demoni, you can sign it off since you have been the host for the night.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, ladies and gentlemen, around the globe. I have been Demoni, and this will be farewell for this outing of Blockey Hockey. Tomorrow, we will have games as well, so make sure to watch those. Good night, Blockey Hockey.